Hello there, it's Tonya Poole, and welcome to Summer Alchemy, episode 1 for 2018. We are in the summertime, y'all. It is summer. It is officially summer today because today that I'm filming this video, it is June 21st, which is the summer solstice, the very first day of summer and the very first day of Cancer season. So a little lesson for you all. Cancer season and the first day of summer always fall on the same day, the summer solstice. And the summer solstice is the longest, not the longest day of the year, but it's the day that has the longest daylight hours. And so what will happen between now, June 21st, all the way to about almost Christmas time, like December 23rd, is each day will get shorter and shorter. Okay, the hours stay the same, but the daylight hours, the daylight hours, or the number of hours in which the sun is out, will kind of lessen and lessen each and every day, all the way until towards the end of December, where we'll have the winter solstice, which is the day with the least amount of daylight hours. I hope I'm explaining that right. It makes sense in my mind, so I hope you get it. So anyway, so happy summer. Thank you for everyone who has kept up with me throughout Spring Alchemy. We talked about Aries, Taurus, Gemini. We closed out Spring Alchemy with Gemini, and now we are in the first episode of Summer Alchemy, which brings us to Cancer season. And Cancer is the first sign of summer. It's the fourth sign of the zodiac, but it is the very first sign of our summer season. And so the title of this video being Everyone's a Cancer, including you. If you've been following me for any length of time, you know that I always start these videos with everybody's a whatever the sign is, including you, because we tend to get so wrapped up in our own individual birthdays, and we say, oh, I'm a Sagittarius, or oh, I'm a Pisces, or oh, I'm a Scorpio, whatever, and we forget that there are 11 other signs of the zodiac, not just the one under which we were born. And so therefore, when the sun is in that particular sign, we have to honor the energy of that sign, because we are being impacted by it as well. And so now that it's Cancer season, the first sign of summer, it would be beneficial for all of us to kind of immerse ourselves in that energy. And Cancer energy is very special, because not only is it the sign that brings us into summer, but it has kind of a soft and hard energy to it. And I'll explain. So Cancer, the sign of Cancer, sits between two signs that I call kind of childlike in a way. So we have Gemini, which if you watch Spring Alchemy, you know Gemini season, or the sign of Gemini, it's kind of reminds me of like a 3-year-old child, with that freedom and that independence, and they want to self-express, and and all of that kind of childlike energy. And it's even represented by the twins, and one of their symbols is siblings, children. And then we go into Cancer season, and then after Cancer is Leo. Now, Leo is, we'll talk more about this in a month or so, but Leo, yes, is the lion, is represented by the sun, but at the same time, Leo represents our own children, represents anything that we create, that we give life to. And so right in between those two childlike signs of Gemini and Leo, we have Cancer. We have the Cancer sign. And Cancer is often connected to mothering, to the mother, to the archetype of the mother. Everything that a mother is supposed to be, or stereotypically supposed to be, or traditionally supposed to be, is what the sign of Cancer represents, is nurturing. The sign of Cancer is the sign of healing. If you have a good mother, or a good mother figure, or a good grandmother in your life, And you know that that feeling that they give you when you come to them with your problems, and they may give you a little bit of wisdom sometimes you don't want to hear, but at the same time they'll stroke your hair, you can put your head on their shoulder, you can cry, they'll listen to your weeping and wailing. You know. So cancer, the sign of Cancer is very much connected to the mother. And wherever Cancer is in your own personal chart is probably where you're the most nurturing. So if Cancer falls in a part of your birth chart that deals with, let's just say, money, you know, you're probably very nurturing over your money and making sure that it goes to the right places, and it does, you know, or you maybe really take care of your family with your money and things like that. But the sign of Cancer is ruled by the moon, actually. And the moon is very much associated with the feminine, the divine feminine, and the mother. And so this time of the year, even though we're hitting, you know, we're going into that summer season, and the sun is out and it's getting hotter, and you know, this is the time where people begin to get more active and out and about. But Cancer has a very kind of alluring energy to it. The sign of Cancer, because it is ruled by the moon, oftentimes you'll see two things that represent the sign of Cancer: the ocean and the crab. Now, the ocean, if you know anything, if you've been to the beach and you go to the water, is something so soothing. For those of you who like the beach, there's something so soothing about just going to the beach. I mean, it could be hell getting there, you know, the car ride, whatever, it's hot, but something about once you, that first step in the water, those first few steps, when you put your feet in that water, it's like so healing. Even the sound of the waves, right? The flowing of the waves is very healing. And the salt water itself is very healing. As you know, that we use salt a lot of times in healing of the body. And so the ocean is very much connected to the sign of Cancer, because it's very much connected to our own healing. And if you think about what the ocean does, right, it flows, it goes in and out, the tide is constantly flowing. And what it does is it pulls into it everything that's on the beach, all of the, sometimes the dirt, the debris, you, and then it spits back out whatever it doesn't need anymore, right? And in that way, the Cancer energy is very much like that. It pulls you in, you know, like that mother. The mother pulls you in and allows you to, or that mother figure allows you to come to her with your problems and what's bothering you and what is going on, and she then heals you, and then she, you know, releases you and says, okay, it's time to go back out there in the world, you got this, right? And so that's what that Cancer energy is all about, is that wherever those areas of our life where we need to be nurtured, so that then we can come back out like those beautiful seashells that we all love to collect at the ocean. That is what this time of year is asking us to focus in on, is to really go within and ask ourselves, where are the areas in which we need to be nurtured? How do we need to be healed? How do we, what parts of us need to kind of be cleansed? Because Cancer is the first water sign of the zodiac. So it's very cleansing and purifying and healing. And so the second symbol of Cancer is the crab. And the crab is a very interesting creature. It has a very tough outer shell and a very soft inner body. Like those of you who love to eat crab, you know, I mean, you go through hell trying to crack those crab legs or hitting it, beating it, whatever. And then, but you get that soft, tender meat on the inside. And if any of you know any actual people who are born under the Cancer sign, you know that a lot of times they can be hard on the outside, but very soft on the inside. You know, they can be seem as though they can handle anything, very tough and and defensive when it comes to their own families and those that they love and the people that they love, but on the inside is that softness and that heart. You know, Cancer, the sign of Cancer is also where we do have to watch our emotions and how we feel, because we may come across as very hard, as though we are not affected by what other people do and say, but then all of a sudden we can find ourselves super emotional and crying and hurt, because though we had that outer emotional shell, on the inside we had that soft, tender heart. And so we have to learn to nourish and nurture our own hearts and our own inner selves. And so that's pretty much it for right now. We are in Cancer season. This is the time for just healing, being true and honest about what you feel. Because how you feel is how you move. It's not so much what you know. A lot of times people say, well, when I know better, I'll do better and all that kind of stuff. And that's true to some extent, but really we act based on how we feel, based on the emotions that we feel and that we carry. So if you're carrying any hurts and pains and anything, burdens, grudges, anything like that, because sometimes Cancer can hold some grudges for a long time. Okay, so all of those grudges, it's time to release them and let them go, like the oceans, like the waters of the ocean. Just let it go. All right, so anyway, that is it. I will be back with episode 2 on how to self-care during Cancer season, and I look forward to talking to you all then. Happy summer solstice and happy summer. Peace.